Welcome into Ursprung Gymnasium here on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, where tonight the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets men's basketball team tips off their regular season as hosts to Washington and Jefferson. I'm Cole McDaniel. Joining me, Logan Rogers, tonight here on bwyellowjackets.com as well as OAC TV. And right now the starting lineup's about to get announced here in just a moment, and we're going to go over those in a moment. But Logan, good to be with you. Excited for a new season here as winter sports are upon us.
Yeah, you too, Cole. Really couldn't be happier to be here with you tonight as we open this season and hopefully get a win.
So let's take a look at the outlook here of this 2023-24 season for the Yellow Jackets before we touch on those starting lineups. Well, it's going to be an interesting year, certainly, and we're going to learn a lot about this team in the next coming of weeks because the top four leading scorers for the Yellow Jackets last season, they're all no longer on this roster. Anthony Mazzio graduated, now a grad transfer at Case Western Reserve. Then you have Ashton Price, he transferred to Worcester. Jake Snyder, he graduated, a grad transfer now at Kent State. And Jackson Simmons also graduated as well. So four of your top scorers are gone, as well as then you had Zoltan Nagy, who is a guy down on the low block who defensively served as a good presence for you, was a rebounder as well for the team. You no longer have him either. So a lot has changed with this team. And you look to guys like Ray Ellington, the sophomore guard who averaged 7.1 points per game, almost like as the sixth man last year. He's going to have to step up.
Yeah, for sure. And the good news is we've got good signs from him. He shot 31% from three. He's a 70% free throw shooter, and that figures to improve as he's become more experienced in the game. But then we're also going to have to look at number 5, Luke Driscoll, the senior guard, going to have to step up offensively. As you said, your top four leading scorers are gone, so bringing that experience, Driscoll, number 5, we'll see him in the starting lineup tonight. We'll have to see how he evolves his game offensively as well.
Driscoll is a guy defensively who would come in off of the bench and serve his purpose as a guard. Now we're going to see if he's going to get that offensive end going a little bit more. Going to be a smaller lineup for the Yellow Jackets this year. A lot of freshmen on the team, 9 to be exact on roster. And we have the opening tip as the Yellow Jackets in their all-gray uniforms and the all-black with the red on the sides there and the red numerals for Washington and Jefferson. Yellow Jackets going from right to left on your screen. Running that first offensive possession here, and this is the second time out for the Yellow Jackets. Actually played an exhibition against Cleveland State. Did that last year as well, so that's always a good test to start the year. And then, of course, Washington and Jefferson, a good test here as Ellington misses off the front end as Washington and Jefferson went 20-7 last year in the regular season, 16-4 in the conference, and 4 of their 5 leading scorers returning for the team. It's a team that expects big things this season.
Yeah, of course. Anytime you get guys with that amount of experience back, you're obviously expecting improvements out of each one of them. And I think they'll get it this year. Obviously, as you said, very strong start last year, but a lot of experience as well. And that's probably where we're going to see the most difference here tonight between the Yellow Jackets and Washington and Jefferson.
Turnaround jumper made there by number 11, Nick Gearhart, to get the visitors on the board first, leading 2-0. So starting lineup for the Yellow Jackets, Titus Baskerville has the ball right now, the freshman from Stowe. Number 4, Braden Hamilton, also in that backcourt, as well as number 5, Luke Driscoll. Number 11, AJ Postello, serving as the big man. He's driving to the rim and banks that one in for the first points of the game. And, of course, mentioned number 22, Ray Ellington already. And we talked about this off-air before the start of this game, as that one's buried from the corner there on the 3. A lot of freshmen from Stowe, and they're a team that had a good program last year at Stowe Monroe Falls.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very good program last year. The Yellow Jackets lucky to have those top 3 really seniors from last year coming on and joining the team. Had a really nice run in the OHSAA playoffs last year, and I'm excited to see what each one of them could do for the team.
Well, and so far it's one of those freshmen, AJ Postello, 5 points already to start the night, starting his Yellow Jackets career off hot, the big lefty, and now all knotted up at 5 all.
And that's one of the things, Cole, that we really wanted to see is which freshmen can step up this year and really help lead the team, because there is a void that one of these freshmen or a few of them are going to have to fill. And that's going to be one of the most exciting things, I think, this season for Yellow Jacket fans, is just watching the future of this program kind of evolve.
So after getting a stop on the defensive end, the Yellow Jackets an opportunity here to maybe take their first lead of the early evening here so far. Ellington looking to drive, trying to bank that one, and going to be a blocking call. First team foul going against Washington and Jefferson, and an opportunity with the break to talk about their starting lineup. Number 5, Brandon Jaquila. Number 11, Nick Gearhart. Number 13, Matt Seidel. Number 23, J.R. Mazza. And number 30, Matthew Cart. Ellington makes that first one from the free throw line. The second one up and good, so perfect on that trip to the line. And now the Yellow Jackets with their first lead here at home, 7-5. Here on the near side, the bounce pass inside, good cut. And a great feed there. Gearhart beat his man. Costello not able to catch up to him, and now 7-all. Getting past the press there, Ellington leaking out. Through the contact, no call there. But unbothered was Ray Ellington, and the sophomore guard from Westlake starting well tonight, and that's encouraging for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we talked about it. You want to get who you anticipate will be your number 1 scorer this year going early, and he certainly hasn't been bothered by the contact that he's drawn so far.
In transition, quickly for 3. A hit there from Braden Hamilton, responding to the 3 ball from Nick Gearhart just a moment ago. These two teams, hot shooting start here so far this evening. Not even 4 minutes played so far in the first half. Driscoll just keeps that one in. Floats that one forward to Hamilton. In transition, feed inside, up to the rim, and just really a rim grazer there from A.J. Costello, but extends the Yellow Jackets lead, 14-10.
Yeah, really impressed with the way the Yellow Jackets are handling this press from Washington and Jefferson so far. You assume with all these freshmen, they might want to test their in-game kind of knowledge of the way they want to play and their experience, and kind of force them into some turnovers, this being a young team. But they've handled it really well so far, and then another good decision there from Baskerville to just give it up, find Costello right at the rim for an easy deuce.
Jaquila came flying in, and last off of him, and they're going to continue to press here, make things difficult for the Yellow Jackets getting out of the backcourt, but so far hasn't bothered BW to this point, been breaking the press well. They do it again with Driscoll. Hamilton, back to Driscoll, wants to drive, and that's really his MO as an offensive player. Really was a defensive guy coming off the bench last year, adds that veteran leadership on this roster, and question's not going to be, can he drive? He did it there. The question's going to be, can he, again, put up some contested shots, find a way to create some separation and get some shots potentially from deep. But he saw that good drive from him there, get the stop on the other end, and now going to be a foul on the floor, and the Yellow Jackets are going to take this one out of bounds on the baseline.
Yeah, Costello working really hard on the boards early. But as you said, yes, Driscoll, we saw him there just as soon as he saw that lane open up, drove right to the basket. That's that senior experience coming in really handy. And with some of these freshmen, hopefully they can step up enough that Driscoll doesn't have to step outside his capabilities at all. But certainly if he could expand and maybe hit a few more jumpers, as you said, that would definitely help.
Ellington from deep buries the 3. Ellington, hot start so far. Hot start in general for the Yellow Jackets shooting, and the first time out of the night for Washington and Jefferson. We're going to keep it here, though. Just 5 minutes played so far. The Yellow Jackets, sure, you're going up against a really tough team who had a better record than you had last year, and they're returning all these guys we talked about. I mean, of those 4 of those 5 guys that we talked about that were their leading scorers last year, all of them averaged in double figures scoring-wise, too. So you come into this one thinking, this is a great test for us, even though we're at home. And you get off to this start with this young team right now, and they've seen unfazed by the press as well, that full court press that Washington and Jefferson showed. Have to be really feeling encouraged if you're Tom Heil and that coaching staff of BW.
Yeah, you love to see this, especially from the young guys you're bringing in. And then when you can break that press quickly, it opens up these transition opportunities. We've seen a couple wide open three-point shots that have just been buried, and they shot it well in warm-ups. We saw that as we were sitting here. And essentially, when you're getting warm-up shots off the press break, that you're going to take that every time.
Washington and Jefferson running the offense here. We'll see what they had drawn up coming out of the break. The drive kick to the corner. Trying to find some space in the lane. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Still plenty of time. Seidel has it right now. Seidel, no good. Just rimmed out. The follow there, no good for Alex Acosta.
Nice defense on Seidel there by Driscoll. That's kind of his MO, as we've said.
Stay tight on the leading scorer, who averaged 17.1 points per game last season. Yellow Jackets now looking to extend their lead. Pull up three, buried again. Braden Hamilton, the sophomore guard from Brunswick. That's the second time he's buried a three. You can't give him that much room. Potopsky there, a little over antsy, trying to get the block. Swats down, and that's an easy call for the officials.
Yeah, as you said, Hamilton, 2 threes already. That's one more than he had all of last year, 1 for 6 last year. So it's good to see, at least early, some shooting improvement on this team that has at times lived and died with a three.
First free throw at the line, up and good for Ryan McCourt. Substitution for the Yellow Jackets. It's A.J. Postello, who's started well tonight. Will go to the bench. Checking in is Andrew Griffith, another freshman. The forward out of Akron went to Archbishop Hoban. 22-11. Driscoll has it now. Looking to drive. Picks up his dribble. Needs some help. Finds Hamilton. And that three off of the back of the rim. So Hamilton from that spot has been hot, but that time not able to get to fall. And in transition, a bucket there for 2 for Washington and Jefferson. Dangerous pass up along the sideline. Hamilton was aware of it. Did a good job just beating Gearhart to that one and drew the foul.
Yeah, and we've seen the Yellow Jackets early be really aggressive with their press bigs, really looking to push it down the floor and get some of these open shots. They've done a good job so far, but you don't want to get in the habit of making risky passes and turning the ball over against a very experienced and rich with scoring team like Washington and Jefferson.
3 team fouls to this point for the Presidents. 1 for the Yellow Jackets. Griffith wanted that quick 3 and unable to hit there, and here come the Presidents back the other way. Bounce pass from the near side wing, and that one's buried there for Gearhart. He's been the offensive leader so far. Driscoll to Ellington. Ellington steps back. He's got a lot of room. Just miscommunication defensively there for the Presidents. And Ellington, the way he's playing so far tonight, he's going to hit that one all day.
Yeah, Presidents aren't going to want to leave that shot open too often.
The follow-up there, banking that one in, Caden DeVito. The pace of this game has been ridiculous to this point. It's felt like more like a track meet than a basketball game to this point. A lot of that has to do with, I think, probably the excitement. Everybody's probably got a little bit of nerves as well. First game of the season, and just trying to find a way to get into a rhythm. But tell you what, putting up shot after shot after shot, and Braden Hamilton once again for 3, 28-18.
Yeah, just a barrage of the three-point shot here in this first quarter. As we see the charge drawn there by Driscoll. Excellent to stand his ground. And as we said, the defensive guard, yet another savvy move in taking the charge there. But yeah, and I think the pace of the game gets amplified when you've got so many freshmen playing their first ever college game in front of the home fans on the floor, really just wanting to go out there and make something happen. And then, of course, you've got expanded roles for your older guys. So I think just everyone really excited right now, and it's culminated in a lot of points early.
Luke Driscoll, the senior guard from California, drew the offensive foul. and then takes a seat on the bench. And as Titus Baskerville comes back in, he misses that three. President's back in transition. Here's that transition three on the trailer there from Seidel. Unable to come up with the bucket on that try. And now Ellington back the other way, trying to bank that one in. Just misses in the follow there. Strong move from Potopsky to rise above. Maybe a fortunate bounce there off of his fingertips, but gets it to go.
But that's the kind of effort you want to see here early on, especially when you're playing a good team like the Presidents are. They've been really getting after it on the boards, and they've got a couple second chance opportunities already.
No good on that three-point attempt there for BW. Just over 11 minutes left to go here in the opening half. Up by 12. Handing this one off. Swing over around the three-point arc. Kick to the near side. Gearhart wants to drive, and going to be a blocking foul called against Hamilton. So second team foul against the Yellow Jackets. We're going to have 3 substitutions for the visitors and 2 for BW. Miles Reynolds checks in for the first time tonight for the Yellow Jackets. Postello back in. So you're running with 2 bigs right now in Postello and Griffith. Of course, matching up with some of the size that William and Jefferson was bringing in off the bench as well.
And you know what's really nice about both Postello and Griffith is that they can both space the floor. We've already seen Postello knock down a big three. They're both lanky, but they can shoot at their respective heights, and they're 2 of the tallest players on the team. And so I think you have to be happy if you're a Yellow Jacket fan seeing these 2 come in, and they'll only get better, but really kind of help out this offense that needs to get some more scoring threats on the floor this year to replace those guys that left.
Of the 3 subs for the visitors, number 24, Isaiah Langston, one of those subs, getting his first action here this evening. He's going to be matched up against one of those bigs. Here's Postello down there on the low block. Driscoll's going to check back in. Potopsky will go to the bench. And that is the 5th team foul as well on the Presidents, so maybe something of note to pay attention to as they continue to maybe get closer and closer to foul trouble here, getting closer to bonus opportunities here for the Yellow Jackets. Only about halfway through the first half. Driscoll pulling up, and he gets that one to go from the elbow.
And that's what you like to see from Driscoll. Don't have to do too much, but team that possession really couldn't find anything, settle into a nice mid-range jumper and knock it down.
Looking to drive, spinning, backing down, and a little too handsy there. Andrew Griffith trying to deal with the big down low there of Washington and Jefferson, and that is now the 4th team foul against BW. Langston over to Cart. Cart, pull up, deep 2. Air ball on that one, but able to keep that one in play. Nice hustle by Jaquila. Now the drive from Gearhart, and a lot of contact there. And unfortunate for Baskerville. He's going to be called for the foul there on that drive, even though he took the contact to the chin.
Yeah, a lot of elbow there, looks like, from Gerhardt. But regardless, he gets the call. Obviously, one of those experienced players we talked about last year averaged 26.6 points a game, so he knows how to score, knows how to get to the line. Shoots it at 76% from the line. Didn't actually give him the shooting foul, though, I guess, here.
Yeah, they're going to say it was on that drive, and the contact happened much earlier into the drive. So foul was on the floor. And now had mentioned that there were potentially some some foul issues to pay attention to for Washington and Jefferson. But now the Yellow Jackets, they have really some quick fouls that they picked up in quick succession. And so now 16 fouls for the visitors and 5 for the hosts. Pull-up jumper from 3, and that one spins around the rim and drops for Miles Reynolds. 35-18, just under 9.5 minutes left to go in the opening half. And there's a bump there. And going to go against the Yellow Jackets.
That's a good way to get back in the game. if you're the Presidents right now, kind of draw contact and try to get some of these players for the Yellow Jackets in foul trouble, because they really haven't had much going offensively. We've seen a little bit of a lack of movement when they've gotten it deeper into possession so far. And it's really, so far, the Yellow Jackets, for the most part, doing a really good job of staying in front and not allowing these drives to the lane to even occur in the first place.
Cart unable to finish there on that drive. The Yellow Jackets come away with the rebound. Driscoll, quick two-point shot there on the mid-range jumper from the baseline in transition, unable to get that one to go. Washington and Jefferson come back quickly, and the runner there for Jaquila up and good. 3 no good off of the front of the rim. And here come the Presidents back the other way. Jaquila spinning, looking to go at Pistella, and really good move there. Scooped that one up and underneath the arm there of A.J. Pistello, drew the contact, got it to go, and an and-one opportunity now for Brandon Jaquila at the line.
Yeah, Jaquila, not a single start last year for the Presidents, but still played in 26 games. That's second most, tied for second most on the team. So obviously a lot of experience stepping into a bigger role this year as he gets the start tonight. But career-wise, shooting at 64% from the line, gets the miss there, but a follow.
Yeah, it was averaging 11.4 points per game last season. Not a great free throw shooter, only shooting 66%. Missed that chance there, but well done by his teammates to follow it up, and that was a 4-point swing there for the visitors, now trailing 35-24. Driscoll driving, pulls up, mid-range, and that one spins out, had some side spin on it, but the follow there from Reynolds. The sophomore guard played at St. Edwards. Gets that one to go. And the Presidents back up and in for 2 the other way. Plotner, his first 2 points on the night. Yep. And then really the Yellow Jackets haven't had an issue against the press this evening. That time there, a little too over antsy on that pass. Too much heat there. And Hamilton did his best to rise up and get to that one, but it goes out of play and a turnover.
Yeah, first one we've seen off that press break so far, and I think they've done a really good job of handling it. And obviously you want to be ambitious with it, and that time just didn't work out.
Losing it in transition now. Driscoll plays that one forward to Reynolds, up and in for 2. Well done in transition. Kind of a low pass there. It didn't really skip up, but Reynolds did a good job to not let that go off of his shin and go out of play, as you'd sometimes see when that pass goes so low. Here's a 3. Short off of the front of the rim. The follow there kept alive for Washington and Jefferson. And Washington and Jefferson, after getting that 2, going to force the first timeout really for the Yellow Jackets. Want to talk some things over after a few quick mistakes and don't want to let a run happen, really go against the Yellow Jackets here. So I want to remind everybody, though, that tonight, Yellow Jacket men's basketball is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket athletics. University Hospitals Drzezinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, as well as Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. You were listening to Yellow Jacket men's basketball on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. We'll be right back. Back following the timeout as the Yellow Jackets, they lead 39-28 here in their home opener this year as the regular season officially underway in men's basketball action, and it's been a hot start here shooting for BW tonight, and as I mentioned right before the timeout, probably a good time for the timeout after the turnover, trying to break the press just a little bit ago. Trying to draw something up, get out of the press, and doing a good job there. Ellington finding Driscoll. They're going to get over half court easily. Maybe an opportunity to shoot in transition. Hamilton certainly had to think about it because he's been shooting well so far from three. Working the offense right now, Ellington. Hamilton over to Baskerville, looking to drive, step back. 5 seconds on the shot clock. The lefty up and no good off of the back of the rim. And that one, I think it touched the hand of Griffith right when he was standing on the out of bounds line there on the baseline, and it will be visitors' ball. So a good defensive set there for the Presidents. Getting the stop, an opportunity to put this into maybe single digits here after really seeing the Yellow Jackets pull out to a decent lead here through about half of this first half now. Picking up the dribble, needing some help. Here's the drive, getting some defenders up in the air, but unable to get that one to go was Seidel. And now going to be a foul on the floor. And that is going to put BW in the bonus here. And so we are going to see Braden Hamilton go to the line for the 1-and-1. As Hamilton steps to the free throw line. Had no free throw attempts last year. And he gets the first one of this season to drop. 17 fouls for the Yellow Jackets, 17 fouls for the Presidents as well. So you're going to see these teams shooting the rest of the first half. Second one up and good there for Braden Hamilton, so a great trip to the line, extending the lead to 13. Here's a drive from Seidel, back the other way. Didn't get the last one to go, got that one to go.
Yeah, really nice touch on that shot, and that's what we're going to look to see the Presidents do. Haven't really looked to shoot it as much. That's not their MO. They want to drive the ball. They only shot it at 31% from three last year, so they're really going to look to get back in this game by drawing fouls and driving to the hoop. That's what this motion that they're running is trying to do, get driving lanes. As we see Driscoll, another nice move and finish here.
Luke Driscoll blows by Jaquila there and puts it up and in for two, 43-30. And an and-one opportunity. Jaquila, after making the mistake defensively and maybe being caught flat-footed and blown by, he wanted to go right at Driscoll back the other way and put that one up and in for two, and an opportunity for the and one at the line. Last and one opportunity he missed, but his teammates were able to follow it up, put back up and in for another 2 points. We'll see if he can capitalize this time.
Yeah, several nice moves so far from Jaquila that we've seen. Really has been their most consistent performer on the offensive end so far. Obviously still early in this game, but like I said, that's what they're going to look to do. They want to drive the ball. They want to push the Yellow Jackets in foul trouble, especially when you're behind. You can score without the clock moving. A lot of advantages there. So I expect to see a lot more of what we just saw in that possession, both in transition and from their sets from the Presidents.
The old school three-point play. Good for Jaquila. Made it 43-33, so just a 10-point deficit now for the Presidents. Make that a 12-point deficit now. Titus Baskerville, a freshman from Stowe, drives with the left hand and flips that one up and in. Really smart play for the lefty there.
Yeah, nice little hesitation move by Baskerville, sensing the defender fell for the fake back inside, takes the lane and just lays it in smoothly. And that's exactly what you see. Baskerville, a really nice point guard, obviously, as we mentioned, for Stowe last year. Made a lot of great plays for that program, and now a Yellow Jacket and getting his first career points there.
So after the blocking foul going against the Yellow Jackets, the 1-and-1 attempt no good there on the front end for Matt Seidel, and so not going to have another opportunity here. Empty on that possession. Ellington had some room to shoot that three. It was going to be a miss anyway, went off the side of the rim, but a moving screen there going against Andrew Griffith. Second personal foul of the evening for Griffith. 10 team fouls against BW. 5 minutes left to go here in this half. Kick out. Seidel has a lot of room from three off of the back of the rim. No good. Ellington trying to tip it up in the air, and Driscoll aware of that and ended up coming away with the rebound. Driscoll, Potopsky, Ellington on the near side looking to drive through the contact, and he gets it to go. And one chance up coming for Ellington. That's the second time we've seen him make that same move and go up through the contact. First time he didn't get the call but got the bucket. That time he got the and one.
Yeah, and that explosion of threes at the beginning of the game has really now put the Presidents in position where they've got to really close out on those threes. They've tightened up their defense of the perimeter, and that's leaving a couple more lanes. When you get that tighter defense, a smart player like Ellington, experienced a scorer of the ball, can really take advantage of that aggressive defense, blow by you, and get the and one on the contact.
Leon Leveski, the senior from Brook Park, checked in for the first time tonight. And definitely a small lineup being played by BW right now. Great follow there by Leveski to alter that shot there of Gearhart. Looked like it was going to be an easy two, unable to come away with points, and now it's 48 to 33, still in favor of BW. Ellington just loses the handle there. Gearhart in transition, driving, a little Euro step, stepping through the lane, and draws the contact. He'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, it looked like Gearhart maybe got a little bit bailed out on that one as he just kind of went in, Euro stepped, and didn't really have a great plan for going in, but gets the contact on the wrist, and so he'll get two shots from the line.
Yeah, he easily could have decided to just pull that one back and run the offense. Instead, he decided to step through the lane where there were three gray jerseys there, and certainly got the bailout there on that foul, but nonetheless, he misses the front end of the two free throw attempts. Opportunity to see if he can split the pair at the line. Just over 4 minutes left to go here in the opening half. That one rattles around and drops. And we're going to have a change as Brandon Jaquila checks back in for number 32, Alex Acosta. Potopsky finds Driscoll on the inbound. Back to Potopsky. Here comes the double. Driscoll gets a man up in the air on that fake pass. Plenty of time to work, but Driscoll wants to go early. And now an opportunity in transition for the Presidents. Bounce pass with the left hand, banking it in. Nice play there. And Seidel with another two. Back the other way, long pass to Reynolds. Kick out to Ellington. Ellington step back, wants the three from the wing. That one off the side of the rim, no good.
But that's what you want to see him do in transition, push and get the open shot, because when you get those guys jumping and just kind of getting stuck in the backcourt, then you're going to have another open player once you get into the offensive end, and that's what we've seen be really successful so far for the Yellow Jackets. Obviously not able to hit that time, but I would like to see them continue doing that, push it off the press break, and getting to the cup.
Brandon Jaquila, the sophomore guard from McDonald, Pennsylvania, is fearless in transition, not afraid to push the pace, draw the contact, and that time there again, put up and in for two, and the Yellow Jackets decide to take another timeout here. Talk things over as they lead by 10 with just over 3 minutes left. Want to touch on, obviously, as Division III college basketball is really getting a start this week. A couple other Ohio Athletic Conference teams in non-conference action tonight. Otterbein, they're hosting Earlham this evening, and Capital hosts Kenyon. So every single Ohio Athletic Conference team is at home, and like I mentioned, 3 of them really getting a start to their season this evening. And then on Friday, multiple teams are then getting their start if they hadn't already earlier in the week as well. Driscoll in transition, Ellington open for three, and that one unable to get to go. Leveski comes away with the offensive rebound. Looks to drive, and got that one to go.
And you see how the transition opened up that shot for Ellington, but it also opened up more space on the glass to get that second chance, and additionally opened up yet another driving lane, as we see here again. the foul goes against Potopsky.
So Potopsky up through the contact, and it looked like J.R. Mazza, who actually was the one who was called for the foul there, took the brunt of the contact as Potopsky was driving. He's hobbled off to the corner there, and the training staff's going to take a look at him. Hopefully it's nothing serious there for the senior guard from West Virginia as a sub comes in for him, and that doesn't look too good over there in the corner.
No, it does not. Obviously, anytime you get guys jumping and falling down, freak injuries can happen, and you never like to see it, so just hope he's okay over there. Yeah,
absolutely. And even though he got off of the floor and got to the corner, they're still going to kind of really put a halt on play here for a little bit until he's able to, almost roll a little bit more to the side, away from the corner there as the trainers take a look. So now that he's been able to move a little bit, again, hopefully he's okay. And Potopsky, his first free throw, up high off the back of the rim and no good. Potopsky, his second free throw upcoming, only shot 9 attempts at the line last year, went 7 of 9, so was nearly a 78% free throw shooter. So far, not a great start to the year, 0 for 2 on that trip to the line. Again, he had only missed 2 free throws all of last season. Here's a bounce pass to Gearhart. Gearhart finds DeVito. Hands this one off. Jaquila driving at Reynolds, draws the contact. And I have to say, if you're Miles Reynolds, that might not be the worst foul in the world. Certainly Jaquila has the size advantage on you. He's shown that he's been unbothered by the contact, making some nice finishes around the rim, but has been subject to at least a miss tonight from the free throw line. So sending him there, again, maybe gives you more of a chance than on that drive.
I mean, you're already in the double bonus, so really what are you losing by getting another foul, except you obviously you don't want to get 2 up there in the fouls because you don't want to get out of the game, of course. But as you mentioned, Cole, Jaquila has been fearless going to the lane so far and has really taken the contact quite well, finished a couple tough layups. So as we see him miss the foul shot there, maybe a better decision to kind of put him at the line.
Splits the pair from the line, 1 of 2. Makes it 50-39. So an 11-point lead still for the Yellow Jackets as they make a change as number 24, Isaiah Langston, checks back in transition again. Leveski drives, banks it in with the right hand. Well done by Leveski, and every time that Washington and Jefferson is pressing, they're giving up some room to launch that one down the floor. Quick 3 in transition, no good off the front of the rim, and the Yellow Jackets going to slow things down.
Yeah, and that pass has been there all game. I like to see them finally go to it when you've got the runner. You're not usually looking that far down the floor. You're just trying to get it in. But great vision there on the inbounds pass and get a wide open layup.
Driscoll finds Reynolds in the middle of the floor. Reynolds looking to step back, and that one off of the very front of the rim, well short. Rebound for Jaquila. Jaquila finds Cart. Cart going at Leveski, gets him up in the air, no good. And that's actually a few times that we've seen Matthew Cart miss from that same spot there. Hasn't been able to get those little bunnies to fall a little strong off of the glass, not getting the friendly bounce. And then mistake there for the Yellow Jackets, turning it over, and so we're going to have an inbound from the near sideline. Cart, DeVito, Gearhart has that poked away by Allington, still has possession, pulls up, mid-range jumper, splash, that one's good.
Yep, really nice pull-up jumper there from Gearhart. Hasn't done too much offensively, but he's been a really nice facilitator for that offense.
Nick Gearhart's really been the leader offensively for the team throughout this half, but it's been quiet the last few minutes. It was really the opening 5 minutes that he was the go-to guy. Going to need him again to continue to score if they want a chance of getting back in this one. But a lot of time, Driscoll no good on his shot attempt. Potopsky rising up. He's fouled as he tried to tip that one back up and in, and he'll step to the free throw line for 2 attempts. So Potopsky, last trip to the line, he missed both attempts. An opportunity here to get back on the right path here from the line. Gets that one to go. Maybe that'll be a boost of confidence for Potopsky. Credit to him. The sophomore guard from Dover, he's really been crashing the glass as well. He had the really nice tip in where he came flying in. That time he came flying in and got fouled as he was rebounding that basketball, and then he gets 2 from the line, makes them both.
Yeah, and we talked about it off air before we came on. This is a smaller team this year, and what you need in the rebounding department when you have a smaller team, as we see a break here, and going at him is Reynolds, and gets it to fall.
Yeah, what a finish. Reynolds just dropped that left shoulder, was able to clear out enough space, and that thing just hung up on the front of the rim and somehow dropped. Reynolds will go to the line for the and one chance, but I'll let you get back to your point about what you're saying about the smaller team.
Yeah, so when you have a smaller team like that, obviously the rebounds might not come as easy, so what you're going to really want to have is a lot of guys that can hustle there, get at least a tip on the ball, something. When you have these smaller guys going in there on the poses, we'll see some bigger centers that we'll face throughout the season. So when you can get a tip on the ball or guys who are willing to hustle and kind of grind it out down there, it can really help you in the rebounding department. And as we've seen so far, they've got a lot of second chances off of just hustle plays and tips up near the glass.
With a smaller team who can play big, and we've seen a lot of players play big so far tonight. With 5 seconds left in this half, little dish underneath, and then up and in for 2 there on the attempt from Alex Acosta, and he'll go to the free throw line for an opportunity for the and one chance after Reynolds capitalized on his on the other end. So regardless of a make or a miss here, you're still going to have time to get the final shot here of the half. Just going to be an opportunity to really see, well, how good of a shot can we get here? Is it going to be kind of from half court, or are we going to be able to get close to the three-point line actually and fire one, but still plenty of time to get down the floor?
Interested to see what they'll do on the press as far as coming up or staying back, and it looks like they'll stay back.
After the made free throw, 57-44, clock ticking down. Baskerville kicks it out. Reynolds for 3, steps into it, off of the back of the rim, a little strong. Decent look there, but Jaquila coming across, got his hand up there, and maybe that just put off Reynolds just enough, but not a bad look at all at the end. And Baldwin Wallace has to feel good about the first half, leading 57-44 against a team that was good last year, and we expect the Presidents to probably have a good year again this year. Before we step aside, of course, we'll take this break here just about 15 minutes before we're back for the start of the second half. But your thoughts on what you saw in the first half, Logan?
I just love the energy for the Yellow Jackets so far. Like we mentioned throughout, you've got a young team coming in and really don't know how they're going to mesh together on the court. First time really kind of playing all together with this group. And they've really just brought the energy, brought a lot of hustle, and then knocked down some key shots, knocked down the open shots, which is the most important thing. Really haven't seen any open threes or layups been missed so far. So really just handling the fundamentals correctly, gelling as a team, and just playing with enthusiasm, which is always what you want to see out of your opener.
Well, perhaps that exhibition, that warm-up against Division I Cleveland State also helped out the Yellow Jackets. We'll see if things continue to trend the way it has for the Yellow Jackets coming out of the locker rooms. So far, a high-scoring matchup, and we'll see if the high-scoring affair continues. For myself, Cole McDaniel, Logan Rogers, we're going to step aside here, take a break during halftime. Don't go anywhere on bwyellowjackets.com as well as OAC TV. We'll be back in just about 13 minutes. About to get the second half underway here from Ursprung Gymnasium, where the Yellow Jackets home opener, regular season opener in men's basketball action. BW's leading 57-44 against Washington and Jefferson. Cole McDaniel and Logan Rogers here on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. Well, the Yellow Jackets, they have defensively been strong. They've been off to a hot shooting start. Ray Ellington has 13 points leading the way. Braden Hamilton's pitched in 11. Miles Reynolds off the bench has had 10. So multiple guys in double figures, but then they've had scoring coming from a bunch of different players. As for Washington and Jefferson, it's been Brandon Jaquila. He's been driving to the lane. He's led the way with 14 points. And then Matt Seidel, he has 13. He averaged 17.1 last year for the Presidents. And we'll see if those offensive threats for the Presidents can find a way to help them get back in this one as they trail by double figures. Turnaround jumper, no good. Air ball, initial miss to start the half. And then with the right hand, the hook for A.J. Pistello starts off the second half. How the first half started, Pistello getting the first bucket for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, Pistello's done a really good job so far in that low post area, both offensively, defensively. We see him make the tough stop on defense and then transition, gets the lead pass and puts it right up and in. So really been impressed with the play from the freshman forward so far.
So after the make there for Pistello, coming back the other way quickly in transition, Matthew Karp drives to the hoop, gets the little bunny to go there and takes the bump for his troubles driving inside. And an opportunity from the line for the and one for the freshman from West Virginia. Gets it to go. And now that full court press. I don't think that they're going to let off of that all night. Still probably going to try to keep that pace pretty high because that's how they've seemed to want to play the Presidents. And the Yellow Jackets have actually dealt with it quite well, as we mentioned in the first half.
Yeah, it hasn't been too successful so far for the Presidents. Honestly, it's led to a lot of open baskets for the Yellow Jackets. Obviously, no Yellow Jacket fans can complain about them keeping up the press. But you're right, Cole. They are going to look to drive a lot more in the second half. We've already seen one foul on the Yellow Jackets, and there they get another transition jumper. So definitely experienced Presidents team we're facing, and they're certainly not going to go away easy.
Pistello stepped out and missed, and then quickly in transition, Gearhart responded with a mid-range jumper. He's a guy who really led the way at the beginning of the half for the Presidents. Missed there on that deep three off of the front of the rim. Rebound for the Presidents, an opportunity to cut this one to single digits, and they do. Now down 8 points. Things going the way of the visitors here in the opening minute and a half of the second half.
Yeah, as we see the second turnover on the press, the attempted press break all night. We saw Chikala there go right at Driscoll, use that size, get it up and in pretty easily, and he's someone they're going to look to go to a lot on the drive to get back in the game, as now they're only down by 8.
Perhaps the youth beginning to show for the Yellow Jackets. Talked about how young they are. A lot of freshmen, sophomores out there on the floor. Driscoll currently the only upperclassman of the 5 guys down there right now. That mid-range jumper falling away, no good off of the back of the rim. Potopsky has it now for BW. He wants to drive, gets good position, not going to get it to go, but certainly fouled from behind, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2.
It looked like he might try to go up and under with that one, but feeling the contact, just puts the shot up, gets the foul, and goes to the line, where he's 2 for 4 so far on the day, and so he'll look to go above 50% on the season for free throw shooting.
If he knocks down both free throws, again, the Yellow Jackets can go back up double digits, but short off of the front of the rim there, so an opportunity to try to split the pair here from the line. It's 59-51. Second free throw up and just spins out for Potopsky. Tough night from the line, 2 for 6 now. Left 4 points at the line, and again, as Washington and Jefferson tries to march back into this one, would have really helped momentum-wise as things are going the way of the visitors right now to knock those 2 down. And there's a traveling call there on the drive through the lane. So, of course, bucket not going to count there. Going to be inbounded by the Yellow Jackets right in front of the President's bench, finding Driscoll. making his way past half court. Here comes the double, leaving Potopsky wide open. Lots of time to run the offense, slow things down, get the set that you want. Hamilton, he wants a three. Hamilton buries the three in front of his bench.
Hamilton's been red hot tonight, the best three-point shooter by far, besides obviously Ellington as well. But he's been didn't really expect him to have a huge night coming in, but a really nice addition to this scoring attack so far for the Yellow Jackets.
Hamilton leads the way with 14 now for the Yellow Jackets after the miss short off the front of the rim by Gearhart. BW again still in double figures, and Driscoll on the drive gets the friendly roll as he scoops that one up underneath. Now 64-51. Picking up a dribble. It's Cart. Feeds Gearhart. Back to Cart. Steps into that one. An air ball just right there for the freshman. Cart's done some good things, but certainly some growing pains for the freshmen tonight as well. Missed some easy bunnies. Then been a little bit strong off of the back of the glass, and that time there again, maybe just not quite online on a shot. Good attempt there trying to keep that one alive, but that one's going to be off of Mazza, and so the Yellow Jackets going to keep possession.
Yeah, we've seen the Presidents have done a better job with their press so far coming out in the second half. They've really been focused on denying at the point of entry, and then kind of leaving one guy back there, as we saw them get beat deep a couple times already in the first half, as Driscoll takes it up, pushes, and dishes to Ellington.
Driscoll blew past three defenders there. Ellington decided to slow it down instead of taking the quick three in transition. Feeds Costello, going to the left hand, gets bumped as soon as he tries to release that. Unable to get to Falls, it rims out. He'll go to the free throw line for two. Second team foul against the Presidents. The Yellow Jackets have one so far in this half. First free throw, an air ball there for Costello. The freshman from Cuyahoga Falls has had a good showing so far. Gonna want that one back from the line.
Yeah, certainly never want to airball the free throw, but as we said, sometimes there's just growing pains, and he coolly nails the second one.
As you'd expect, gets a little bit of some heckles from the bench there of the visitors. Not too often you see an air ball there on a free throw. But as you mentioned, respond with the second one, splitting the pair, 65-51. Low feed inside, off of the shin there of Acosta, can't come away with it. Ellington back the other way for BW. Gonna back this thing out. The top of the three-point line. Looking to drive, blowing past the defender, and putting that one up and in for two. Ray Ellington has 15.
Yeah, really nice job there, getting Gearhart to switch onto Ellington, exploiting the speed mismatch there, allowing Ellington to blow right by and get the easy two. As we've seen the Yellow Jackets do a much nicer job coming out of setting up that offense. The three hasn't been falling as much as it was in the first half. Obviously, we've seen a few hit, but for the most part, they've done a good job setting it up, getting the matchups they want, and getting to the rim.
So after the quick two for Ellington, the Presidents get a quick two themselves. Costello tried to rush the inbound and sailed that one over the head of Hamilton. And now opportunity after the turnover for Washington and Jefferson to try to get this thing closer again, trailing by 14. Here's the drive, unable to get to go. Jaquila, but it's going to be the last off of the fingertips of the Yellow Jackets, so remains with the visitors and a fresh shot clock to work with. So Costello will go to the bench. Checking in is the other freshman big, Andrew Griffith. And a quick two there for Washington and Jefferson. Now trailing by 12 with 15 minutes left to go in the game. Ellington steps through on the floater there. And that one's short off of the front of the rim. 2v1 opportunity the other way. And Griffith bumped the arm there of Acosta as he tried to step through. And again, that's a foul going to be on the floor, is right before Acosta got into a shooting motion. So an inbound upcoming from the baseline.
Smart foul there from Griffith. Just get the transition foul, allow you to set up your defense, and then obviously get the turnover, and now you're back in the attack.
See if they can capitalize on the turnover on the offensive end. Hamilton wants the three. And that one's long off the back of the rim. Griffith the follow, up and in for the putback too.
We saw on display the full wingspan of Andrew Griffith there, the freshman, just palming that ball, bringing it back in and finishing nicely. He's had a few nice minutes out on the court.
The drive, the spin. Threw a lot of great jerseys there for Jaquila. He was knocking a lot of those shots down the first half. Last two driving in, he hasn't been able to get to go. And then a traveling violation called against Nick Gearhart. Tried to move before he put that basketball on the floor. Near side official making the call there. And a couple turnovers offensively. Last couple of possessions for the visitors. Nearly stolen away. Tips back to Hamilton. Ellington driving, stepping through. Friendly roll.
Nice finish there by Ellington. He's been really good at the rim all night long, and the Jackets are certainly going to need that to continue to close out this one.
Things continue to go the way of the Yellow Jackets. An offensive foul against the Presidents. They had some momentum coming out for the first 2-3 minutes of this half. Since then, the Yellow Jackets have been able to settle in, right? Hasn't been flawless, hasn't been perfect, but they've settled in, found a way to keep almost extending that lead, and then once you see the visitors chip away at it, the Yellow Jackets find a way to go right back to where it was. And that's got to be a little bit disheartening for the Presidents, where anytime they have a little good run, it's quickly stopped. Potopsky, no good on that floater.
Sorry, Cole, but you had the lead cut to 8 if you're the Presidents, and since then, it's been a ton of self-inflicted wounds. You had the travel by Gearhart, the offensive foul there on the last possession, just kind of simple things that you normally would expect a team with as much experience as the Presidents have to avoid, but they've really hurt themselves, and it's caused the Yellow Jackets to go back up by 16 here with just over 13 and a half to go.
At times it almost feels like they're going too fast, right? And then trying to press, they're giving up those long passes and allowing the Yellow Jackets to leak out the other way. That was very prevalent in the first half, and one of those things too where I know this is a team that Washington and Jefferson, we talked about it, as a team, they weren't the best three-point shooting team, so at times it feels like you're trading 2s for 3s as well. Sure, they're getting out in transition and getting those 2s, but when you give up a 3 on the other end, obviously it's going to go the wrong direction for you.
Yeah, and they've played within their strengths. Obviously, they know they're not a great shooting team, or that's not what their offense is built around. We haven't seen them take a ton of attempts. They've really favored that driving to the basket style of play, but it gets harder and harder to do when you're trading buckets and you're down by 14, 16 points.
So after the 2 made free throws for Jaquila, it's now 71-57 with 13 and a half minutes left to go in the second half. Baskerville's back into the game for the Yellow Jackets, and a great feed inside.
Really nice feed.
Stowe freshman to Stowe freshman. Pastella with the finish and one.
Yeah, any of you Stowe Monroe Falls fans that might be tuning into the game, I'm sure you've seen that quite a few times. Really nice vision along the baseline by Baskerville there to get it to Pastella right at the rim. Finishes, gets the foul, and will go to the line for the N1.
And a lot of credit to Baskerville as well on the assist. The 5'10 freshman guard. He knows how to feed it, and you can tell he is a true point guard the way he's playing down there on the floor tonight.
And he's playing really well for a freshman point guard first start. He's done a great job of distributing, slowing the game down when it needs to be slowed down, and he's done a really good job of just playing within the offense and distributing the ball.
Defensively, certainly a mismatch there, as Seidel had the size advantage against Baskerville, just backed him down, put that one up and in for 2. Yellow Jackets leading by 15 points. Potopsky doubled up against the sideline, gets some help. Kick to the corner, wide open. And that one's short, and kicks up and catches the wire that's holding up the backboard there. It was a good look for Reynolds, just unable to capitalize.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Presidents that it hit the back wire there, because Costello was right there on the rebound. It was going to be an easy follow, but now Washington and Jefferson back on the attack.
Great feed. There's the two great jerseys pinched up. It allowed Acosta to leak through wide open, put that one up and in for the easy two. Now 74-61. BW can slow it down offensively again. Reynolds picks up his dribble, trying to kick that one down low. Really close to try to force that one into Costello. Didn't pan out, and turnover an opportunity for the Presidents to try to cut down the deficit here again. The drive, Seidel, that's a tough runner there. Short off of the front of the rim, and a good rebound by Hamilton. Out in transition, Costello turns to the left hand and just loses it.
I think maybe got a hand on that one, couldn't quite see who it was. As we see Jakayla drive once again to the basket, get the finish. And these Presidents just hanging around. That 11-point margin is about where they've been since the middle of the first half, and they really haven't wavered too much.
That they are. So after the finger roll there by Brandon Jakayla, timeout on the floor, 74-63. A reminder that this evening's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leader since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider, and Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You are listening to Yellow Jacket men's basketball on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. We'll be right back. So out of the break, again, nothing's really going to change for Washington and Jefferson. You're going to see them come out in that full court press and try to make things a little bit difficult for the Yellow Jackets getting past half court. But BW, again, as we mentioned all night, has done a pretty decent job of dealing with it. Driscoll just blowing by the defense right now, getting it up to Ellington. No problem getting past half court with plenty of time to spare. Not even close to 8 seconds there. But a careless pass. Jumped by Caden DeVito. Kicks this out. Seidel wants to take it right now. Looks to go 1v1. Feet inside. Good look. And then Costello actually gets his left hand up to that one, blocks that one, and the Yellow Jackets hold strong defensively. Driscoll picks up his dribble. Ellington driving. Ellington pulls up. Short jumper.
Really nice job by Ellington there, just feeling the space, pulling up instantly, and then knocking down the jumper.
76-63. That one's tipped out of play. Last off of the fingertips of Costello as Acosta got behind him there. If it wasn't tipped, probably would have resulted in an easy two. So good job recovering defensively. Inbound on the baseline underneath the basket for the Presidents. DeVito. High pass there. Seidel able to catch that one. Steps into a shot. The mid-range jumper no good. Rebounded by BDW. Ellington clearing out some space. Thought that he might have thought about the step back three there. Instead decided to run the offense. Drain some time off the clock. Feet inside. The drive. Baskerville up and in with the left hand for two.
Really nice feed there as well, and we've seen a boatload of that here from the Yellow Jackets in the second half, really taking time to set up the offense and then getting the best look possible, not settling.
Drive up through the contact there, and the long arms of Ellington altering that shot. Ball on the floor, diving for the loose ball, and the Presidents come away with it. in transition, up and under. Reverse there for Acosta. Smart move to get the 2 there. And the Yellow Jackets, they just need to slow it down, right? The clock is your friend right now. You're leading by double figures. No need to rush going the other way.
Yeah, and it's hard because you want to do that, especially when they're pressing you. You want to get it up the floor so fast. But you're right. You do have to kind of notice here, as we see Driscoll hit a nice floater, that you can burn some clock here. You don't have to rush it up the floor. You don't have to rush your possessions. You've got the time. And that's one of the things they need to take advantage of right now, especially as well with Jaquila out, one of their top scorers on the night and their most consistent for sure. As we see another great block by Costello, who's playing extremely well in his first game here at BW.
Big man using that left hand to get the block again there on Acosta. Acosta went up and under the last time. That time there, Costello not going to be beaten on the defensive end. Driscoll trying to bank that one in, unable to do so, but the follow from Costello, and he's fouled from behind. He'll go to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, and this is something we've seen them do a little bit so far this second half. They've switched Cart onto Costello. They forced that switch to happen, and obviously when you've got the freshman guard, a big size mismatch in there, and then we saw DeVito, who I think did receive the foul, also another smaller guard. When you can get that switch and then get it into your big man and just let him work down there in the low post, more often than not going to result in some really great opportunities, and if not an and one, definitely going to the line as we see here. And they've done a really good job of recognizing that in the President's defense and getting the matchup they want.
President's trying to add a little bit more size on the floor as that second attempt missed there by Costello. Checking in is number 25, Nathan Plotner. Haven't seen him since the first half. Deep 3, and that one, yeah, you saw the twine move there, but that one caught the underside of the backboard and then kicked back and caught the hoop there. So 81-65 still the score at the moment. Driscoll driving, kicks it to the corner, open 3, Baskerville, he sinks that. Just over 8 minutes left. Seidel wants the quick 3 off of the back of the rim. That one takes a high bounce in the air. Ellington tries to tip it down, and it's going to be last off of the hand of Jaquila as he was there close to Costello. And the Yellow Jackets going to come the length of the floor.
We talked about that in the first half. Even a small tip on the ball can really change how you rebound and how successful you are. So really nice job by Ellington again there of getting that tip and getting possession for BW. And then on the other end, knocking down a 3.
Back-to-back open corner 3s from the near side. It was Baskerville just a few moments ago. This possession from the far sideline, it's Ray Ellington. And Baskerville thought he had the steal there, thought he was going to be off to the races. And the Presidents take a much-needed timeout to try to stop the bleeding. 87-65, just under 8 minutes left to go. And the Yellow Jackets here at home on their way to potentially 100 points on the opening night. We'll see what happens in the final 8 minutes. For myself, Cole McDaniel, Logan Rogers, we'll step aside here for a few moments. We'll be back after the timeout. Back following the timeout here on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV, where the Yellow Jackets lead 87-65 over the Presidents. Mentioned a couple of those other Ohio Athletic Conference teams that are in action here this evening. We'll try to get you some score updates on those as they're currently going on here right now as well. So when I get those updates here in just a little bit, I'll make sure to share those with you as, of course, they're hitting the tail end, the latter stages of those matchups. So back in action. Much needed bucket going to be needed here. That's not the possession that the Presidents needed. A takeaway for the Yellow Jackets.
Really active hands on defense this half for the Yellow Jackets. Getting in the passing lanes, they've done a much better job of closing down the space. And then another three knocked down here by Hamilton. He is having quite a night from outside.
Hamilton from three again. He likes that spot there on the wing. Nothing but nylon on the shot. 90 points now for the Yellow Jackets. Just under 7.5 left to go. Going to be a foul on the floor against BW. Going to be their fourth team foul of the half. They're going to say actually Seidel was coming up in that shooting motion. So he'll step to the free throw line for 2 attempts here. First one rattles home. Despite being a solid scorer, only a 66% free throw shooter last season, gets both to go on that trip to the line though. Bounce pass to Hamilton, up to Driscoll. Driscoll turning on the speed again. Wants to go quick. Floater there, maybe a settle there, clanging that one off of the back of the rim. Contact there, Hamilton leaping early on the closeout. Gearhart, smart play to try to put that one down and dribble around him. Saw that he was going to run straight into him, just took the contact. The 5th team foul against BW. And going to be a change here before this one's inbounded as Braden Hamilton will go to the bench and Landon Potofsky checks back in. Inbound drive along the baseline, feet inside, through a lot of arms, barely got through to Jaquila. Quick reaction to catch that one and go up and in for 2, 90-69. Turn there from Baskerville, clearing out some space, can kick this out. Potofsky wants to slow it down.
Yeah, smart decision from Baskerville there just to pass it back out and let him run the offense, waste some time off the clock here, and then get Postello isolated and just unable to finish that time.
Postello maybe went a little bit quicker than what Tom Heil would have wanted there. Still 11 seconds were on the shot clock, and now coming back the other way. And Postello had a really solid first half. He's had a couple good defensive plays in the second half. But again, you're seeing that freshman side, right, where you're trying to get accustomed, first regular season game of your college career. You're prone to make some mistakes. And again, saw it there with probably trying to rush it on the other end, isolated, and then coming back down the floor and kind of a needless foul from behind.
Yeah, but you do like to see the confidence, of course, to do that, though. He felt like he's had a good enough game that now he can kind of go to work where he wants to, and that's kind of the confidence you want to see settle in, especially for a team that's going to need some scores to step up, and especially for a guy that's going to be one of the prime big men on this team. So definitely he's played a really nice game, really clean throughout, but you're right, there's still some of that youth showing, and obviously with time, that'll correct itself.
Certainly feels confident about the left hook, right, when isolated 1v1. That's a good thing, but a matter of, like I said, the clock is your friend here right now, and that's, again, where experience comes to play. And you see some of the guys who are sophomores, they're the ones a lot of times right now trying to slow the pace a little bit once they get past midcourt. After those free throws were knocked down, it's now 90-71, just over 6 minutes left to go in this game. 20 seconds left to go on the shot clock for the Yellow Jackets, and Baskerville taking his time going 1v1. Driving through the lane, and that one gets tipped there. Coming across was Plotner, getting his hands on that one. Backing down Driscoll. Driscoll stands strong against Jaquila. No good on the shot attempt there. And again, when you have situations like that where you're able to get the rebound and quickly get out, it doesn't allow Washington and Jefferson to set up for the press.
Yeah, for sure. And you're also seeing Washington and Jefferson kind of go a little bit faster here with their offensive possessions being down as much, which can result in some of those short shots as we saw by Jaquila, who's been a really strong finisher all night, but he short arms that one, just trying to get it up and in. And so this is kind of where the clock helps the Yellow Jackets in seen and unforeseen ways.
Ellington, a smooth drive there to bank that one in for two the other way. Seidel trying to take the quick three, unable to capitalize, 92-71. 5 minutes left to go, and Ellington looking to go 1v1. A step back, thought about the three, decided to pass that one away. Baskerville, 6 seconds left to go. Trying to step through, and that one's blocked. Tight defense from Seidel, and here come the black jerseys back the other way. Seidel, wide open three from the near side wing, and that one splashes nothing but net, 92-74. Driscoll, Ellington, wide open from the corner for Baskerville. Last time he was there, was able to get it to go, unable to that time, and a nice follow by Potofsky. Wide open on the back door, up and in for two, and a timeout on the floor. Washington and Jefferson, and head coach Ethan Stewart-Smith in his 9th season as head coach of the Presidents, just like Tom Heil in his 9th year as well for the Yellow Jackets. They're going to talk things over with their teams over on the benches as the Yellow Jackets lead at home by 20 points. Want to remind everybody that tonight's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You were listening to Yellow Jacket men's basketball on bwyellowjackets.com and OAC TV. So out of the timeout, you're going to see the Presidents come the length of the floor. And at this point, again, just feels like the time's against them. Be a little bit too little too late, right? If they get a run going here with only 4 minutes left. Quick bucket that really should have been a bucket there. Somehow, Seidel clangs that one off of the back of the rim, and that's just been how it's been going the last little bit for the visitors.
Yeah, sometimes when you get down by this many points late, it just seems that lid on the basket gets even tighter and tighter as you go, and it gets harder to put these shots in here. As we see another nice drive and finish by Jaquila. But we've seen the Yellow Jackets as of late, especially with this press, kind of settle it down. As we see, Baskerville kind of comes up on the floor here, gets the foul, but also just kind of slows it down once they get up the floor, once they've beaten the press, whereas earlier they were starting to push it really, really early. So definitely some adjustments, just trying to use the clock to their advantage here, and the Yellow Jackets have done a really nice job of adjusting to the situation and using the clock as their friend in the last couple minutes.
After the foul on the floor against the Presidents, inbound from the near sideline. Kick to the corner, Baskerville. Hamilton swings to the far side. Ellington, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Baskerville has it. Gonna have to get a shot up. Create a little bit of separation. That one short off of the front of the rim. Pacello up and in for two after getting the offensive board. Gerhardt, turnaround jumper, and that one an air ball into the hands of Driscoll. Promise to get you some updates on those other games. Otterbein hosting Earlham. They have a big lead with just a minute and a half left in that one, 89-57. So that one's locked up for a Cardinals victory to start the regular season for them. As for the matchup between Capital and Kenyon, that one's a little farther behind with about 15 minutes left to go in the second half. The Comets leading 49-37. So far, a good night for the Ohio Athletic Conference schools. We'll see if Capital ends up coming away with the victory, but the Yellow Jackets for sure is going to come away with the victory here tonight with just about 2.5 minutes left and a big lead. And of course, like I mentioned, Otterbein's going to get the win for sure.
Yeah, big night. OAC coming to life here in the men's basketball season of 2023. And no win more important to us here than the Yellow Jackets here tonight. They've looked really impressive so far. We'll touch on that as the game laps up a little bit later. As Postello once again puts it up and in and gets the foul. Yellow Jackets nearing 100 points, averaged only 77 last year, so huge offensive outburst. Really nice to see from a team who we didn't necessarily know how this was going to go tonight.
I would say last year's team was a high-scoring team as well. You know, only averaged 77, as you mentioned, but they did have a lot of high-scoring matchups themselves. There were just some games where they were cold from three, and then when they were cold from three, again, it was a lower-scoring game. So, again, we'll see how this team translates, right? I'd say there might have been more pull-up shooters potentially on last year's team, but this year's team, they've proved as well. They have guys like Hamilton and Ellington, again, who they can pop the three with the best of them as well. 98-78 the score. Make that 80 points now for the Presidents. Baskerville, right in front of his bench on the far sideline. Switched over to Driscoll here on the near side. Driscoll swatted there. Settle early into the shot clock on that mid-range jumper. Again, that release that he has makes it tough to get a shot up over. Tight defense there. That one's a brick for Zervos. And going to be a quick timeout here as Heil wants to just make some substitutions. Change the 5 on the floor here right now. And again, all the players going to the bench right now. Baskerville, Ellington, Postello, Driscoll, they all have had a good night. And props to them for the work that they've done this evening.
And it's looked really fluid out there for the Yellow Jackets as well. They've looked really together as a team, which is exactly what you want to see coming out, especially with a few new starters on the floor.
Caden Madigan, number 0, getting his first action this evening for BW. On the floor with Leveski, Reynolds, who couldn't get that one off before the shot clock violation. That buzzer sounded. Griffith back on the floor as well. Potopsky still out there. 48 seconds now remaining. Here's a drive through the contact. Reynolds called for the personal, and we will see Ryan McCourt go to the free throw line for 2 attempts. 98 points up there on the board for BW. And by the time they get the basketball, they're going to have 40 seconds left. So this possession is really going to be dependent upon whether they hit 100 points here tonight or not.
Yeah, I'm sure more of a small victory, but certainly you do love seeing the triple digits go up there if you're the Yellow Jackets.
Take it when you can get it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially with some guys who haven't gotten as much time on the floor here. Another chance to just kind of hone their skills and get some practice going up to the basket.
Potopsky trying to get past midcourt. Able to do so. 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. They're going to take some time, run their offensive set once it got under 10 seconds. 5 to go. Madigan driving. Up and in for 2. There you have it, 100 points, triple digits. And Madigan, the freshman guard from Wadsworth, his first points of his career. And, of course, it gets them to triple digits.
Yeah, I mean, how would you like your first career bucket to be the one that puts you over? You see the huge sigh of relief from the bench over there. Just everyone celebrating the fact that first game you hit 100, big win, and pretty much all smiles on the Yellow Jacket side right now.
So 10 seconds now remaining after that bucket. And we'll see if the Presidents can get a response. Going to dribble that one off of the leg there. Last off of McCourt. Be out of play in the Yellow Jackets. They're going to be able to just inbound this thing and then kill the clock